Welcome, powerful, wealth-worthy woman. I want to begin by saying how deeply honored I am that you're here. That of all the places you could be, you chose to carve out time from your full, beautiful, complex life and bring your presence to this space. I just want you to know, right? This isn't just going to be a masterclass. This is a sacred space. This is a reclamation. This is a portal into something deeper. Yes, we're going to talk about money, but really, this is about power, about your voice, about your identity, and about becoming the woman you were always meant to be before the world told you who you're supposed to be. So I didn't arrive here just by reading, by taking classes. I arrived through lived experience as an immigrant woman who learned to clean houses while holding a dream no one else could see. As somebody who has walked through scarcity, shame, and silence and chose to rise anyway. So I don't take this moment lightly. And so my bold intention is that this experience, our time together, isn't just informational, isn't just insightful, but transformational. That something shifts inside of you, that you leave with more of your power reclaimed, that your relationship with money, and more importantly, with yourself, begins to feel different. We're not here for more information. We're here for a remembering, for an awakening, for a returning. And so before we go any further, I'd love to guide us into a brief centering process so that we can arrive not just in our minds, but in our breath, our bodies, and our presence, and our highest timeline. Sounds good? All right. So I'm going to invite you to just take a nice deep breath in and exhale. Take another deep breath in and exhale. Close your eyes if it feels comfortable. And now move your awareness from your head into your heart. And just take another deep breath in and exhale. Feel the chair supporting you. Feel your feet on the ground. And take a deep breath in again. And exhale. Now feel the sacred pulse of life moving through you. The breath of your ancestors, your becoming, your divine self. See, you're not here by accident. You were called. You were called to a deeper truth. You were called to remember the woman you were before the world told you who you're supposed to be. You were called to reclaim what was once hidden, your power, your voice, your wealth, your freedom. And in this space, we lay down our old stories. We unhook from shame, guilt, and fear. We name what's been running us so we can choose again. May your heart stay open. May your body feel safe. May your soul feel seen. And may you receive exactly what you came for, even if you don't yet know what you're looking for. Let this be a sacred interruption to everything that's not aligned with your highest timeline. Let this be a return to truth. We begin in reverence, in courage, and in the knowing that something powerful is already unfolding. So take a deep breath in and exhale. And so it is, and so it shall be again. When you're ready, gently open your eyes. Take another deep breath in and exhale. All right. Welcome to the downside of wealth, why your nervous system won't allow you to be rich yet. And so before we dive in, I want you to know there's a workbook created to support your journey through this experience. And in the workbook, you're going to find reflection prompts, integration exercises, and just spaces to capture your insight. All right? If you haven't downloaded it yet, I invite you to do so. You'll find the link below this video or in your confirmation email. And if you don't have it in front of you, don't worry. Just grab a journal or a piece of paper, something to write on for now, okay? Because here's the thing, this space isn't just for listening, it's for activation. And so when you write down, it allows your body to anchor what your mind has received. All right? So I'm going to invite you to pause this video real quick, go grab your journal, go download the workbook. All right? Okay. So, as we begin, I invite you to take a moment and write down your personal intention for being here. Why did you say yes to this masterclass? Why did you want to take time off to listen to this, to watch this? And why do you want to become a wealth-worthy woman? So take some time, just jot something real quick. All right, so let me tell you what this masterclass is really about, because this isn't about mindset hacks. It's not going to be about budgeting tips or spreadsheets. And it's definitely not going to be about thinking positively, right? This is going to be something much deeper. This masterclass is about reclaiming the part of you or the parts of you that were exiled to survive so that you can step into the woman you're here to be, whole, well-resourced, and empowered. Okay? So here's the thing, wealth isn't just about money. That's the big idea. Wealth isn't just about money. It's about your power, it's about your identity, and it's about your ability to create, hold, and circulate resources, not from hustle or fear, but from wholeness. And true wealth begins in the nervous system because if your body doesn't feel safe being seen, supported, or well paid, there's no amount of mindset shifts that will stick. You will keep shrinking, sabotaging, and second guessing yourself. Okay? So that's why in this masterclass, we're not here to fix anything. We're here to remember who we are, to unhook from old strategies, old survival strategies, and to begin to build wealth from a place of self-trust, soul alignment, and expanded identity. Because here's the thing, most women are trying to grow their wealth while still carrying unconscious stories of limitations about what it means to want more, to receive no more, to be seen in their power. And these stories, guess where they live? They live in the body. And until they're witnessed and released, they will keep running the show no matter how brilliant, spiritual, or hardworking you are. So, what's a wealth-worthy woman? Well, she's a woman who feels safe being seen, supported, and well paid. She uses her tools. She no longer hustles for her worthiness, she owns it. She creates income in alignment with her gifts. She manages money with clarity and circulates it with joy. She saves, she invests from self-trust. She gives generously from overflow, not obligation. And most of all, she doesn't just have wealth, she feels worthy of it. That's the woman we're going to call forward today through the downside of wealth process, why your nervous system won't allow you to be rich yet. And in this transformational experience, you're going to see how your nervous system has been protecting you. You're going to uncover subconscious vows of loyalty, rebellion, shame, and fear. And then we're going to use EFT tapping to release the emotional charge that those vows have created so that you can begin to shift into a much more regulated, confident version of yourself. Yes, even in those few minutes, we'll be able to shift you to that regulated version of you. And if you're ready, I'll be sharing an invitation into a deeper 3-month journey. Okay? So take a moment. Let's just take a moment here. After everything I've just shared about what this masterclass is really about, jot down what's opening up for you. What's opening up for you? Maybe it's a memory, a realization about your current patterns, or a part of you that's been waiting for you to exhale. Don't overthink it. Just jot down what's coming up for you. Jot it in your workbook or your journal or whatever you have nearby. So let's then begin this reclamation process, okay? Not just in your mind, your body, but in your body, your truth, and your story. That's why I keep asking you to jot things down, jot thing down, right? Let's make it let's make it experiential because I promised you it was going to be an experiential masterclass, okay? So, who is this for? This masterclass is for the woman who's done so much inner work but money still feels stuck. It's for you if you've ever found yourself saying things like, no matter how much I grow, it's just never enough. If you say things like, if I succeed, I might lose people. I feel like a fraud. I don't deserve more. I work so hard, but I'm still scraping by. If you say, I keep waiting for somebody to validate me, that I'm not allowed to have more. If that's your mind chatter, this is for you. So this masterclass is for the woman who undercharges because she questions her value, who overworks because she's afraid to slow down. She doubts her gifts even though everyone else sees them. She feels guilty for wanting wealth while other people are struggling. And she associates money with shame, judgment, or greed. And she's still unconsciously playing by the old rules about what women are allowed to have. That was my story. But here's what she really wants, right? Here's what we all really want. We want financial security, not just to cover the basics, but to be able to exhale. We want a steady, sustainable flow of income, not a fast or famine kind of income, right? We want multiple streams of income, not just for survival, but for option, ease, and freedom. We want to be seen and paid for what we bring to the world. So this woman, this masterclass is for, she wants to be seen. And she wants to be really paid well for what she brings, fully, joyfully, and unapologetically. She wants to stop shrinking her brilliance to make others comfortable. She wants to be able to trust herself with money, not just to earn it, but to manage it, to grow it, and make aligned decisions. She wants a simple, soul-aligned system that supports her, not stressing her out. And she wants wealth that is rooted, not reactive. But most of all, she wants the freedom to give, to live in overflow, to bless others by being fully resourced, to fund what matters, to build not just a business or a life, but a legacy. So this one here really resonates. Back in Uganda, which you'll hear more about where I'm from, but my mom started a primary school, so that would be maybe elementary, middle school, and I think high school, so a primary school. And to support the children in Northwest Uganda because the annual income for the average family is $1,800. And so, why am I sharing this? Well, I want to be able to support her, right? I want to be able to support her vision. This is why I do the work that I do. Being able to support others financially, that means a lot. And I'm sure you're that kind of woman too. You want to be able to support others. So if any of this resonates, just take a deep breath and exhale and just jot down what's opening up for you. What lines spoke to you the most? What truths landed in your body? What story are you ready to stop living? And use your workbook. Just journal, jot down what's coming up for you. Okay? All right. So who am I? I've been talking for a while. Who am I? My name is Dr. Helen Orombi. I am a women's empowerment and transformational coach, a former psychotherapist, right, of 14 years. And I support conscious, impact-driven women in cultivating an empowered relationship with money, right, so that they can embody their highest potential, their highest purpose, and their highest impact and legacy. So I mentioned I was a former psychotherapist, and before that, I was a little girl growing up in Uganda, East Africa, a pastor's daughter in a culture where women weren't expected to earn, let alone thrive. Many, many moons ago, right? Things have evolved a little bit. So we had more than most. But as a child, I learned that having more also meant being responsible for more. So most people, so like more responsible for more. So more people in our home, less room for rest. And very early on, I internalized the belief that there's never going to be enough for me, right? And that belief followed me. It followed me all the way to a time when I was maybe 17 or 18. I was in an all-girls boarding school, a little bit like Harry Potter, yes. And I snuck out to talk to my boyfriend. And as I was coming back, I was caught and I was publicly shamed by my headmaster, what felt like every single week, right? So again, here's the disclaimer. What your nervous system remembers might not necessarily be the actual fact, right? So, because your nervous system is always going to give you the worst case scenario. So, as you can imagine, being shamed like that, I failed my A levels, I failed my exams, and I had to repeat my A levels. So, my parents did pay for my tuition because in Uganda, your elementary and your middle school and high school, they're usually free, but college you pay for. things have changed a little bit. So my parents paid for my tuition, but it felt like they withdrew everything else. I moved into the capital city. I went into the capital city because I didn't want to retake my A levels in the town that I took them the first time. So I moved in with a family friend, and with this family friend, everybody worked. It was all of us were women, and everybody went to work. And so dinner was always guaranteed, but lunch, sometimes you were really on your own. And so I survived on boiled eggs and chapati. So I would have one boiled egg and my chapati. That was lunch. In school, because we had a day school this time. I didn't go to a boarding school again when I repeated. I went to a day school. And I remember for lunch, sometimes I didn't have enough money. And I had another friend who she didn't have enough money either, but would pull our money together and we'll buy a cup of tea and a samosa, and then we'll split it. So half a cup of tea and half a samosa. That was our lunch. But even then, I rose. I passed my exams, right? I went to Makerere University, which is one of the top universities in Uganda, right? And later I earned two master's degrees and a doctorate, but my nervous system did not forget, right? When I moved to the US for graduate school, I arrived with no scholarship, no money, and no place to live. I cleaned houses, I babysat, I walked miles to go to work. I went to school at night. I worked really, really hard. But still, deep down, I believed, my nervous system believed I had to earn my right to belong. Later, I built a successful handmade clothing store on Etsy, an online platform. It was profitable, it was joyful, it was thriving, but I sabotaged it because I rose above the income I was unconsciously taught I was allowed to have, right? That's my nervous system believed that I couldn't have more, right? And so I sabotaged myself. So even with all my education, all my skills and visions, I couldn't hold more, not because I wasn't ready, but because my nervous system wasn't safe. My nervous system didn't feel safe. And that's what changed everything, right? When I began to do the deep nervous system based work, the identity expansion work that I'm going to share with you, that's when everything changed. My nervous system felt safer to receive more. I expanded my self concept about who I am, what I believe is possible, what I deserve, right? So, what I'm sharing, yes, I went to school, but I also did the hard work. So, ultimately, this process, this masterclass, growing your wealth, it really isn't about making more money. That's not where we start. It's about who you become in the process. And now I support other brilliant women like you in becoming that version of themselves too. So, are you ready to begin? All right, let's go. So, I'm going to invite you to, so just take a deep breath because I've been talking a lot. So I'm going to guide you through a process. And the intention of this process is to reveal what your nervous system and your subconscious mind really believes about wealth. Okay? And we're not just going to look at some general mindset blocks. This is going to go deeper, right? We're here to gently explore what might feel unsafe about expanding into your next level of income, ease, success, impact, right? And how your body might still be protecting you from having what your mind says it desires. Because even if a part of you wants more income, more freedom, more spaciousness, guess what? Another part of you might still be associating having more with risk, pressure, or loss. And it's not doing it on purpose. It's not just trying to sabotage you, it's trying to protect you. See, your nervous system is very loyal, not to your goals, not to your expansion, but to your survival, right? And so in the next few minutes, we're gonna make what we're gonna do in this process is we're gonna make the unconscious more visible, right? We're going to see what old rules may still be running the show and begin to shift that into the woman who can confidently create, receive, manage, hold, and circulate wealth with clarity and ease. Okay? All right, let me have a drink of water as you prepare yourself. All right. So, so grab your journal, your workbook, or any piece of paper that you've been writing on, and you're going to set your vision, 3 goals. And let's start by getting really specific about what you want, okay? This is about honoring your desires, not what's responsible, not what's realistic, but what's true. So grab your journal, grab your workbook, and give yourself permission, right, to be audacious. One of my favorite words. All right, so the first thing I'm going to invite you to write down is imagine yourself 2 or 3 years from now doing work that you absolutely love and getting paid really, really, really well. So it's the work that's aligned, that's purposeful. You're making a difference in the world and you really enjoy it. You're doing what you were born to do. Got it? And from that place, just write down how much money you would love to earn each year. So let it be a stretch, right? So it's 2 to 3 years down the line. You're making the kind of money you want to be making. What is that income? Write it down. Something that would feel really, really good to be making. Got it? All right. So the second thing I want you to write down is your savings. How much of that income would you love to save and invest each year? How much would you want to save to keep and to build more wealth over time as the woman who creates from overflow? Write down how much your savings, how much you want to be saving, or how much that future version of you is saving. Got it? All right. The third thing I want you to write down is how many hours you're working per week. Like how many hours you would ideally love to be working to earn that amount of income, right? So how many hours are you working? How hard do you work? And what feels sustainable, energizing, and aligned with your nervous system? I know for me, I don't want to work past, ideally, I don't want to work past 1 o'clock, ideally. So just write it down. Got it? So those 3 numbers, they represent the vision you're growing yourself. So they represent the future you, okay? And they'll become the foundation for this process that we're going to do. All right, so now I'm going to take you into that vision. So I'm going to invite you to take a nice deep breath in and close your eyes. If you're somewhere where you can, exhale. Take another deep breath in and exhale. Feel the chair supporting you. Feel your feet on the floor. Or whatever it is that you're sitting on. Just feel supported. Now imagine a movie screen in your mind's eye. And if you're not visual, just get a sense of it. And then on that movie screen, you're going to see the house where you grew up. Let your mind just paint that picture of the house that you grew up in when you were young. And then see your younger self there, maybe age 6 or 7. Now, see your parents there when you were maybe 6 or 7. So see the house where you grew up in when you were around 6 or 7, and then see your parents at that age. Just notice them. Now, something is about to happen. The future you from 2 to 3 years from now is going to pull up to the house, maybe in a limo, maybe on a motorbike, whatever it is for you. She's going to pull up in something that embodies that wealthy version of you, right? She's that version of you that's making that amount of income, that's saving that amount of money, that's working that many hours. She looks radiant, confident, well rested. She's doing what she loves. She's resourced. She's glowing with a grounded knowing of her worth. Now watch her walk into your childhood home. See her smile. See her beaming, radiant. Then she shares with your parents, those younger version, how much she earns, how many hours she works, how much she's saved, and what her life looks like. Now stay with this scene for a little bit. What do you notice about your parents or caregivers? What do you see in their eyes? What are they saying or not saying? What's the expression on their face when you tell them how much you're making? What's the feeling in the room? Is there joy? Is there pride? Is there discomfort, confusion, or distance? Allow yourself to see it. Allow yourself to feel it. How do you feel being seen that way? Notice what's going on in your body. Notice the feelings that are coming up for you. And if your experience is positive, allow yourself to notice everything. There's just no right or way, wrong way to do this. And then when you're ready, take a nice deep breath in and exhale. You can open your eyes and just take a moment to jot down what came up for you. What came up for you when you shared with your parents how much you made, how much you've saved, how many hours you're working? What emotions came up? Feel free to pause this video if you need more time to write and just capture everything. And now we're even going to go deeper. ask yourself, does that future version of you belong in this family? What rules did she break by sharing how much she's making, by sharing how much she's saved and how many hours she's working? Does she belong? What rules did she break? Jot that down briefly. See, whatever you jotted down, that's your nervous system, right? That's the story your nervous system might still be trying to follow. That's the unconscious loyalty that might be limiting how much you allow yourself to receive, right? Because this hasn't happened, right? I just asked you to visualize. And so whatever came for you, whatever came up for you, that's what's running in your nervous system right now. So let me explain the visualization. So if during that visualization, you felt like you disempowered your parents just by telling them how much you earned, how few hours you worked, how much you've saved or invested, especially doing the work that you really, really, really love. And if it brought up guilt, shame, or discomfort, that is what I call the vow of loyalty, right? It's the part of you that says, if it was hard for them, it should be hard for me. I shouldn't have more than they did, especially not easily, right? Maybe your parents struggled. Maybe your parents worked long hours when you were young. They took jobs they didn't enjoy, or they followed a much more traditional path, doctor, lawyer, um, teacher, something like that. And now you're doing it differently, maybe even with joy, with rest and purpose. And a part of you might feel like that's wrong. That's what was revealed by this process. The unconscious ways you stay loyal to what's familiar. And this vow might be playing in your real life. And the way it plays out is you limit how much you allow yourself to earn, right? Because maybe earning beyond what your parents made might make you feel emotionally unsafe. See, that was true for me, right? I remember I said I was raised in Uganda, where the average annual income was or is between 1,800 to 3,800 a year. And guess what? For the longest time, I capped my own income. So, granted, mine was monthly. I capped my monthly income at 3,800 per year, per month. I capped it there, not because I wanted, but unconsciously, my nervous system was loyal to what people in Uganda would make. And it wasn't until I started doing some of this deep nervous system work and like really look at it, I'm like, oh my goodness, what am I doing? That I was able to receive, hold, and circulate more, not from a place of judgment. Because again, remember this, your nervous system is always trying to protect you, right? So notice for yourself, did your parents in your visualization were they disempowered by your success? Did you feel guilt, discomfort, or a need to explain yourself? And can you see how this pattern might be showing up in your life right now by how you limit how much you earn or how you work really, really, really hard or why you're stuck at a certain level like I was, even though you're brilliant? That's the vow of loyalty. Okay? So again, jot down what's coming up for you. Feel free to pause this video, just jot down. All right. So the second vow. Now, the second vow. If in your visualization, what you saw was your parents judging you, questioning your success, right? Like, I wonder how she did that. Or maybe outright rejecting that future version of you. What that signals is the vow of rebellion. Okay. So this might be the part of you that decided a long time ago, I'm going to be nothing like my parents. I'm going to be different. And maybe you are different. Maybe you're earning way more than your parents did, but you're sabotaging yourself somehow by working really, really, really long hours and wearing yourself down, just like maybe your parents did. Another way this vow shows up is you will make a lot of money, and then you go through moments where you don't make a lot of money. So it's called the boom and bust cycle. You'll have lots of money, and then you'll sabotage it. You lose momentum, you shrink back, almost as if you're punishing yourself for rising too far. Right? So here's what makes the vow of rebellion interesting. The way you make money is in reaction to not, you want to be nothing like them. So even if you're making a lot of money, you're still trying to prove yourself. You're trying to prove yourself different from your family of origin. So sometimes you have both. I had both, right? And the way the vow of rebellion outpictured for me is like I grew up with a stay-at-home mom in a community where men were the providers and women, right? Girls' educations weren't prioritized. So a lot of the women didn't work. And a part of me made a vow, I'm never going to be like that. I am educated up to wazoo, right? And again, the point I'm making is like there's nothing wrong with being a stay-at-home mom, right? If that's what you choose. But in my case, right, my mom didn't have a lot of options because her dad didn't allow her to go to school. And so the way that vow I pictured for me is I opened an Etsy shop at some point to sell my handmade crochet goods. And it was fun, it was creative, it was abundant, but it didn't fit the mold of success. So guess what I did? I sabotaged myself the following year, right? So the first year I made more money than I'd ever made. And then I sabotaged myself, right? The following year. And then the following year, I sabotaged myself to the point that I was making as much money as I was making as a psychotherapist at that time, right? Because that was an acceptable profession, well, here in the US, right? So that is the vow of rebellion. That's what it looks like. So notice for yourself, how is this vow of rebellion outpicturing? Do you go through moments where you make a lot of money and then you sabotage yourself? And sometimes the way you sabotage yourself is like you get this unexpected bill or something. We have all kinds of ways we sabotage ourselves unconsciously. So take a moment to reflect. In your visualization, did your parents judge you or dismiss you or reject you? Did it feel like they didn't believe how you made that money? Did you feel like you needed to explain yourself? Now ask yourself, have you been trying to prove that you're different or better than your family of origin, your family? Have you ever had experiences where you made a lot of money and then you sabotaged or you pulled back? Do you swing between success and burnout? That's the vow of rebellion. And just like loyalty, It's not a flaw. It's just an old strategy that your nervous system came up with to keep you safe. But now it's time to see it clearly and choose again. So if you need to jot some stuff down, just pause this video, jot down whatever you need to jot down, okay? So we've covered so much, right? So much. Hopefully by now you understand the role of your nervous system and what it does to keep you safe. So maybe this visualization brought some shame that you weren't expecting, maybe some guilt, right? Whatever emotion or even grief, especially as it relates to your parents or your past. Allow yourself to see this is just to show you your emotional imprints, how they've been shaping your money story, how much you allow yourself to earn, hold, or even enjoy, and how your nervous system might be trying to keep you safe, even when you are consciously ready for more. Okay? That's why we did that, not to punish you. And so before we move forward, I want to guide you. So what we're going to do next is I'm going to guide you through a marvelous mind-body process tool called EFT Tapping, one of my most favorite tools in the world. So EFT Tapping, Emotional Freedom Technique, it's a powerful mind-body tool that allows you to calm down your nervous system by gently tapping on acupressure points that run both sides of the meridian, right? Mostly along your face, collarbone, and upper body, while speaking aloud the thoughts, feelings, or beliefs you're currently holding, right? So as to begin to release them from your body. And it might sound deceptively simple, and it is, but it's incredibly effective, right? So as we tap and name what's present, what we're doing is we're sending a signal to our brain body system that you're safe. You can feel this. I can let this go. And sometimes you don't need words to tap. You can just use your breath and just tap. It still works. Your body will still respond. Your nervous system will calm down, right? So let me show you what the tapping points are, because we are going to do some tapping to release the vow of loyalty, of rebellion, and then choose again. Now, this is a very, very short version of it. It's much longer in the program. So you start on the side of the hand, which is here. The eyebrow is where your eyebrows meet right here. Follow it, side of the eye, underneath the eye, underneath the nose. You can do this way, underneath the mouth. So you use two fingers. Collarbone is, you see where the bone protrudes, you bring it down and side this way, or you can just do this. This covers it. Underneath the arm is 4 inches from your armpit. So where your bra band ends for a woman. And then top of the head is on the crown of your head, right here. All right. So you use, for the top of your head, you can use all your fingers or just two, right? And so you can tap on the points 5 or 6 or 7 times, right? So that's EFT tapping. Looks weird when you're doing it, but it works. So I'm going to invite you to take a nice deep breath in and exhale. Allow yourself to bring up that visualization that we did earlier of the future you going back to the you, to your family home when you were about 6 or 7, to meet your parents at that age. And allow all the feelings, all the emotions, all the sensations to come up. Because as they come up, we can tap and release them. All right? And so we're going to start with the vow of loyalty. And so I'm going to say a phrase, and then I'm going to invite you to repeat after me. Okay? So, eyebrow. I feel guilty for going beyond my parents. Repeat after me. Side of the eye. It feels wrong to have it easier than they did. Underneath the eye. I don't want to make them feel small. Underneath the nose. I'm afraid I'll hurt or disappoint them. Underneath the mouth. A part of me wants to stay loyal. Collarbone. So I hold myself back and limit myself. Underneath the arm. I've been playing small to protect them. Top of the head. And I'm tired of carrying this loyalty. Eyebrow. Now we're moving to the vow of rebellion. Eyebrow. I feel like I'm fighting them. Side of the eye. I hear their judgments in my head. Underneath the eye. I have been trying to prove that I'm nothing like them. Top of the underneath the nose. And so I keep sabotaging my success. Underneath the mouth. I'm tired of this push-pull with money. Collarbone. I don't want my life to be a battle. Underneath the arm. I'm ready to stop fighting. Top of the head. I want peace and stability with money. Eyebrow. Now for the positive integration where you get to choose. I bless where I came from. Side of the eye. And I give myself permission, full permission to grow. Underneath the eye. It's safe to earn more and work less. Underneath the nose. I can thrive without guilt or struggle. Underneath the mouth. I allow myself to succeed in my own way. Collarbone. I can hold and enjoy the wealth I create. Underneath the arm. I choose alignment, ease, and abundance. Top of the head. I am ready to become a wealth-worthy woman. All right. You can stop tapping, take a deep breath in, and exhale. And just notice what came up when you were doing that tapping. And take a minute to jot it down. All right. So you've touched something deep today. And the thing about tapping is sometimes it takes a couple of days to integrate, but you tapped something really deep. We touched something really deep today. We've seen how shame still lingers. where the fight is still running quietly underneath the surface, where loyalty, rebellion, and fear have kept your wealth bound to old stories. And now I want to invite you to a different story. Is it okay if I share with you what your next steps could be? I'm going to assume yes, if you're still watching, because it's my bold and sacred intention to guide you on a transformational journey, not just to make more money, but to become the woman who leads her life and her wealth from the inside out, right? So let me share my screen. Give me a moment while I figure out tech. So, introducing a wealth-worthy woman, a 3-month transformational journey. All right, let me know if can you see it. Go back. Okay. Let me get my notes. I'm so excited for this opportunity. Okay, so just working through tech. Give me a second. Apologies. Still sorting out tech. See, I use 2 computers when I'm working. And so my notes are on the other computer. Forgot to set it up earlier. So, but I really appreciate your patience. All right. So, welcome to becoming a wealth-worthy woman. So, this program, it's a 3-month group program, live, designed to help you break free from survival-based money patterns that you inherited, right? Your financial wounds that you inherited, to reclaim your power as the author of your financial destiny. So this isn't about adding more things on your to-do list. It's about becoming the woman who can feel safe receiving, who charges what she's worth, who manages money with clarity and confidence, and allows her wealth to reflect her value. And so, how do we get there? We'll get there through deep identity work, deep nervous system healing and rewiring, releasing emotions, and taking aligned action, right? You're not just going to learn how to do money differently. You will actually become the woman who relates to money from self-trust, from power and purpose. Okay? So who is this journey for? It is for the conscious, impact-driven woman. So conscious, impact-driven woman, who are those? You might be a coach, you might be a healer, you might be a creative, you might be a visionary, you might be an entrepreneur, right? You might be working a regular 9 to 5, right? So it's for the woman who's done a lot of her inner work, but money still feels a bit stuck. So you might be undervaluing yourself, avoiding visibility, you feel guilty about charging more, or you secretly believe that success will cost you love, rest, or belonging. Or you notice that your finances haven't really caught up to the woman that you know you can become. You might be a woman that's using money as a reason not to follow her dreams, or a woman who's staying in a relationship because of money. And if that's you, my heart goes out to you, right? But here's what you want instead. You want to be generously paid for the value that you bring to the world, right? You want to feel safe with success, visibility, and receiving. You want to release shame, scarcity, and inherited patterns around money. You want to align your wealth with your values, legacy, and soul purpose. And so to get there, we're going to move through 4 powerful shifts. The first shift is all about healing, right? We have to heal. We have to release what's in the nervous system. We have to reclaim those parts of us that are stuck in different money stories. So that's the first thing. It's about healing and letting go and rewiring the nervous system. The second shift is the identity transformation shift, because here's the thing. Once you've healed, to get to your next level, you have to become that new you, right? And so it's about expanding your sense, your self-concept. It's about expanding your sense of what's possible. It's about expanding your ability to trust yourself, right? So that's the identity transformation shift. And then the embodiment shift is, so once you've stepped into that woman and you start going out into the world, you're going to hit up against certain blocks like perfectionism or visibility, right? And so this shift is called the embodiment shift. It's almost like you're putting that woman on, right? Like think of a new coat. And a new coat, you kind of have to wear it a little bit before it gets comfortable, or a new pair of shoes, right? So the embodiment shift is like embodying that woman you're becoming. And then the aligned action shift. So, yes, you've healed. Yes, you've expanded your identity. Yes, you've embodied this woman. But what really anchors that sense of embodiment is taking action, right? So you are going to have to start taking action, right? Taking inspired action. And that inspired action might look like, oh, I have some missing skills. I have some missing capacities. So I need to go find out who can I learn from? That action might look like, oh, I have to do Facebook Lives. Oh, I have to post on social media. So you're not going to become that wealth-worthy woman if you're not taking action. Okay? So this is very, very important. So this work is not just about money work, it's about wholeness work. It's about reclamation. It's about becoming that version of you. And so what's included? Well, here's what's included. 10 group sessions on Zoom where you're going to experience those deep healing, the identity expansion. We're going to use EFT tapping to release any blocks that you might have. And so those sessions, the value, and then you're going to receive live coaching from me. The value of the sessions is $5,000. right? You're also going to receive 6 on-demand training modules to set you up for the sessions, right? So yes, we'll do the processes, some of the processes in session, but I want you to get some of that groundwork done, right? So you get those 6 on-demand training modules that have several lessons inside of them. And so the value of this teaching is 1800. And then you're going to get a custom program workbook, like similar to something that you got for this masterclass, where you can write down your reflections, some practices, prosperity practices, and expansion practices. And then, this is a good one, you're going to get 3 private, like one-on-one coaching with me, right? And the value of that is 999, let's just say $1,000. 60-minute laser coaching where we're going to laser in on some of your own issues that we couldn't cover in the group sessions. And then you're going to get a private client portal. So you have your own portal where you can access the replays, or you can communicate with me some of your aha moments. Whatever is coming up for you, you can communicate with me. It's private. I'm the only one who has access to it, and I will respond to you. And the value of that is $300. I would say $500, but let's just say $300. And then 2 bonuses. So an on-demand video releasing overwhelm, because here's the thing, as you start growing, you're going to get overwhelmed. As you start taking action, you're going to feel overwhelmed, right? That's just a given. Everybody feels overwhelmed. And so you're going to get this training video to help you calm down your nervous system, right? The second on-demand video is letting go of procrastination, because here's the thing, we all procrastinate sometimes. And what procrastination really is the flight part of your fight, flight, freeze stress response. So the freeze stress response is overwhelm. The flight stress response is procrastination. And so I got you covered. There's a training for that. And then you're going to be in a circle of conscious, courageous women. That in itself is priceless, because when you can see that it's not just you, that it's an us thing, it's a women thing, it's a culture thing, you depersonalize your lived experience, your family of origin experience. That in itself is priceless. And you may just want to sign up for that. So the value of this incredible program is over $8,000. But I'm not going to make you pay that. Your investment to be part of this incredible, incredible experience is $2,400. And yes, there's a payment plan available. Okay? And so what is your next step? Your next step is, because this is an intimate, high-touch container, right? Where I don't just want anybody to sign up. So there's no sales page where you can just go sign up. The way you sign up is you sign up for a one-on-one clarity conversation. So if this work, everything that I've been sharing, if that speaks to you, your next step is to book a private clarity conversation with me. And then we'll explore your financial goals, we'll explore your blocks. And then if it feels aligned to both of us, I'll walk you through the enrollment process so that we can work together. So if this spoke to you, book your call This is an incredible, incredible opportunity to reclaim those parts of you that are stuck in an old money story, to become the author of your financial destiny. But more importantly, it's going to be about embodying because your highest potential. Because once your relationship with money is empowered, once you no longer have to use money as your excuse, right? Once you have that empowered relationship with money, you step into your highest potential. You get to live your purpose. You get to make that impact that you came here to make. You get to live like that shooting star, right? Like a comet streaking across the night sky, right? Or be for a short time, because our time on this earth is limited, but a comet is unforgettable. I would like for your life to be unforgettable. So join me if this speaks to you. Okay? And so here's what I'd like to do before we leave. Whether or not you join me inside of this program, please don't forget what you felt today. That opening, that remembrance, that truth that says, there's more for me and I'm worthy of it. Allow yourself to embody that truth. That is your wealth worthiness waking up. So honor her. And it's time to meet her. And I'll meet you on the inside. So before we leave, I would love to say a blessing for you. And so if it feels comfortable, you can close your eyes. Powerful, wealth-worthy woman. Today you touched places that have long waited to be witnessed. You gave voice to hidden vows, the quiet fears, the ancestral patterns that still live in your nervous system. And in doing so, you broke a cycle. You said, no more. No more shrinking to fit. No more hustling to prove. No more guilt for desiring more. You're not just healing your relationship with money. You're healing your relationship with power, with your worth, with receiving, with the divine. And as you leave this space, may you walk differently. May your feet touch the ground with the weight of your remembering. May your voice carry the resonance of a woman who knows her value. And may your heart remain open wide enough to receive the abundance that's always been yours. So go in blessing, go in brilliance, go in authorship. The wealth-worthy woman in you is already rising, and we are all better for it. The world is a much better place for it. And so it is. So thank you for being here. Thank you for doing this work. And thank you for being the woman who is willing to rise. All right. So bye for now. I'll see you inside in the clarity call. Okay? So bye for now.